Guys, it looks like it's going to happen. The playoff committee has announced that playoff expansion is probable after the current deal is up in 2025. I am excited. Let's go. What's going on, everybody? It's me again, Golden Blue Dude. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. I do videos every single day. I am super excited about today's video because we get to talk about playoff expansion that's actually gonna happen. Now, there's still a few years before it's going to happen because the current deal that ends in 2025 has to expire first. But they're saying it's highly likely that it's going to happen. They just haven't settled on what type of expansion they're going to do. So the committee itself is made up of 10 commissioners and Notre Dame Vice President and Athletic Administrator Jack Swarbrick. I know, Notre Dame. But beyond that, they've come up with a management committee, and it has 4 members. The first one is Commissioner of the Big 12, Bob Bowlesby. The second is the Mountain West Commissioner, Craig Thompson. The third is the SEC Commissioner, Greg Sankey. And of course, the fourth is the Notre Dame Vice President and Athletic Administrator, Jack Swarbrick. Notre Dame has a lot of pull in the playoff committee. So the executive of the College Football Playoff Committee, Bill Hancock, has announced that playoff expansion is likely after this current deal is up. They said that they discussed 63 possibilities, 63 possible changes. That's a lot of possibilities. Among those possibilities is the 6-team playoff, the 10-team playoff, the 12-team playoff, and the 16-team playoff. So I came up with renderings on what each of those playoff scenarios would look like. I couldn't find anything on the internet that matched what I think it would look like. So keep in mind, I free-handed this. It's not going to look perfect. It's not going to look great. But this is probably what each scenario would look like. And I'm going to take the final rankings of last year's college football playoffs and put it into these brackets, see what kind of matchups we would have came up with. First, we'll talk about the 6-team playoff. Now, in my scenarios, I rewarded the top seeds. They get buys. I think that's fair. So in the 6-team playoff, the 1 seed and the 2 seed get a bye. 1 Alabama, 2 Clemson. They get a single bye. The first matchups in the 6-team playoff would have been number 4 Notre Dame against number 5 Texas A&M. I think that would have been an awesome game, and the winner plays Alabama. Below that, we have number 3 Ohio State against number 6 Oklahoma. That would have been an amazing game. I would have loved to see that. And the winner of that would have played Clemson. So we do have some potential matchups that already happened last year, but that's fine. We need more good games in the playoffs. And you'll see, the more teams they add, the better these matchups are, the more excited I get. Next up is the 10-team playoff scenario. The 1 seed Alabama gets a double bye, and then the next 3 seeds get a single bye. Number 2 Clemson, number 3 Ohio State, and number 4 Notre Dame all get a single bye. These are the first games in the 10-team playoff. Number 7 Florida against number 8 Cincinnati. Sign me up for that. That would have been an awesome game. Winner of that plays Notre Dame. And I think the winner of that game would have had an excellent chance to beat Notre Dame. Next matchup, number 10 Iowa State against number 5 Texas A&M. Yes, great matchup right there. Winner of that plays Ohio State. I think either one of those teams would have matched up well against Ohio State. That would have been a nice game to watch. This is what the bottom half of this bracket would look like. 9 Georgia against 6 Oklahoma. That looks great on paper. I think it would have been an amazing matchup, a great first round playoff game. Then the winner of that plays Clemson. I would have loved to see either one of those teams go up against Clemson. I think that's a great game right there. Next up is the 12-team playoff scenario. Top 4 seeds get a single bye. 1 Alabama, 2 Clemson, 3 Ohio State, and 4 Notre Dame. These are the first round playoff games that would have happened. Number 8 Cincinnati against number 9 Georgia. That sounds familiar. Oh wait, they actually did play each other, and it was an awesome game. Could you imagine if that was actually a playoff game? Wow, yes. Sign me up for it. And the winner of that would have played Alabama. Yes, I like it. The next game, number 12, Coastal Carolina against number 5, Texas A&M. This could have been a great Cinderella story. What if number 12, Coastal Carolina, would have knocked off number 5, Texas A&M? Well, after that, they would have taken on number 4, Notre Dame. I think that would have been doable for the Chanticleers. Yes, I love these storylines. Next game, number 11, Indiana against number 6, Oklahoma. That one's kind of hard to picture, but it probably would have been a good game. I don't know. Two very different different football teams. And the winner of that would have played Ohio State. So if Indiana would have upset Oklahoma, they would have gotten their rematch with Ohio State. Another great storyline waiting to happen. The very last matchup would have been number 10 Iowa State against number 7 Florida. I'm really not sure who would win that game. I think it would be a great game, but there's no way I could actually pick a winner of that game. I think they would have matched up against each other very nicely. Winner of that would have played Clemson. Then my favorite brackets. This one is awesome. Some great matches, some great storylines. This is the 16-team playoff scenario. First up, the top 4 seeds double bye. Number 1 Alabama, 2 Clemson, 3 Ohio State, 4 Notre Dame all get double byes. Next 4 seeds get a single bye. 5 Texas A&M, 6 Oklahoma, 7 Florida, and 8 Cincinnati all get a single bye. So here's the first round of the 16-team playoff scenario. Number 16 BYU against number 9 Georgia. Sounds great to me. I would have loved to see that game. And the winner of that plays Cincinnati. So if Georgia does beat BYU, they play Cincinnati. The game that we already saw. This would have been an important game in the playoffs. And then the winner of that would have played Alabama. This next matchup looks really, really awesome. It would have been number 12 Coastal Carolina against number 13 North Carolina. A battle for the Carolinas in the playoffs. That is an awesome storyline. You can't get much better than that. Then the winner of that would have played number 5 Texas A&M. So even if North Carolina would have beaten Coastal Carolina, it would have been Texas A&M and North Carolina. And we saw that game as well in bowl season. The winner of that game would have played number 4 Notre Dame. And I think the winner of that game would have had an excellent chance to beat number 4 Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame was by far and away the weakest team in the playoffs this year. Weaker than some of the teams below them. Next matchup in the first round of the 16-team playoff scenario, a Big Ten battle. Number 14 Northwestern against number 11 Indiana. Now, we got to see Indiana versus Ohio State, and we got to see Northwestern versus Ohio State, but we didn't get to see Northwestern versus Indiana. I think that would have been an awesome game. And the winner of that game would have played number 6 Oklahoma. I think that would have been a great game, and then if somehow they survived past Oklahoma, either Northwestern or Indiana would have gotten their rematch against Ohio State. Great storylines. Last matchup, number 15 Iowa against number 10 Iowa State. Are you kidding me? An in-state rival for a playoff game? It does not get any better than that. That would have been crazy. The bragging rights, the hate going on, a possibility of maybe a fight breaking out. I don't know. That would have been a crazy, hectic game for a first-round playoff game. Sign me up for that. The winner of that would have played Florida, and then the winner of that would have played Clemson. So yeah, I'm really loving this 16-team playoff scenario. It's probably my favorite out of all of them. Y'all let me know which scenario y'all would have preferred. Personally, I would have taken the 16-team playoff scenario. By far and away the best storylines, by far and away the best matchups. And I don't want to hear about your blowout excuses, because the national championship has been a blowout the past 3 years. Do we get rid of the national championship? Of course we don't. So stop using that excuse. That's all I got for you for this show. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you on my next show.